Masters.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am so glad to be back. Life happened, have death in the family, so I took a couple weeks off, but I'm glad to be back. The latest Census Bureau reported that there's 110.6 million singles in America. How many of you are single? Yep. Okay. How many of you have heard of Boaz? Oh, good, okay. Well, apparently, for those of you who don't know, apparently he is a hot commodity in the Christian community. I mean, women rant and rave about this man, okay? He's, simply put, he's perfect and without flaw. He's the one, okay? And I would say he's about running neck and neck with Prince Charming. So I read in this book once, and the story goes something like this. There was a woman named Ruth, and she was working in her field, and she intentionally positioned herself to be found by Boaz. But I'm not going to go into details today about that. But I am going to tell you a short story. About 15 years ago, I thought I met my Boaz. That's Andrew. He was perfect in my eyes. He was the one. He was everything I thought he was supposed to be. He checked off all of the right boxes. We were young and in love and married foolishly. But I realized I was hoodwinked. I bought the lie. The lie that says that you have to marry the perfect man, the one, your Boaz. And would you know that I paid top dollar for this perfect picture family? I made sacrifices and I did things that I really didn't want to do, all in the name of love with my Boaz. But my Boaz single-handedly destroyed our family with his infidelity, his fears, and his insecurities. And the marriage sadly ended in divorce. So as I watched my perfect picture change and evolve, so do my thoughts about Mr. Boaz. This one day in particular, I heard my heart say, what if God doesn't send me a new Boaz? And this changed my life. I thought, what if God sent me a Moses? A man who's a leader but sometimes emotionally driven and the need of assurance to stand in the fullness of who he was called to be. Although Moses was called, he still felt extremely inadequate and battled insecurities and almost caused him to forfeit the leader the Lord was trying to pull out of him. What if it were my responsibility to encourage him into his identity? And then I thought, what if God sent me an Elijah? Man, a man who has his share of great victories but still wrestles with fear in such a way that he falls into bouts of loneliness and crushing depression. Could I be the woman that God has sent to help draw him out of those cave moments like the angel did? He said, speak these words, get up and eat. Could I be the woman of patience, grace, and love to look beyond the bouts of discouragement and see the man he's destined to be? then I thought, what if God sent me a Jonah? A man who would surely call upon his life to deliver a difficult message, only to be so discouraged with the mantle of his calling that it sends him running. Could I be the woman, like the well was sent, to remind him of the importance of obeying the voice of the Lord the first time? Could I be the woman who was sent to help him instead put his fears to flight instead of his purpose? And then I thought, oh Lord, what if God sent me an Abraham? A man who has received a word to leave everything behind and just follow the Lord to a land that he would soon show him. A man who received a promise and didn't have the patience to wait for it. Could I be the woman to help him steward the word of the Lord properly and correctly? Could I be the woman who has a husband who receives direction to leave a place of familiarity and help my husband walk forward in absolute and unrelenting faith and obedience to the Father? And then I thought, what if God sends me a David? A man after his own heart, but had a past of infidelity, adultery, and murder. Clearly this man was chosen by God, but had a past filled with all sorts of things that could cause many to question his qualifications to be used by God. Could I be the woman to help purge and record that holds his confidence hostage and loves for him who he was called to be and not who he used to be? You see, if I had continued to believe that I was only created to have a Boaz, I might forfeit the man that God created for me. So now, as I spend my time in singleness, enjoying my journey from being married to single, I will prepare my heart to encourage, to pour, and to sharpen in preparation for my new Boaz.